A big moment for a Rockford area hospital and the medical community as a whole. Friday, Mercy Health's Javon Bay Hospital announced the first U.S. patient enrolled for the INTERCEPT trial, a clinical trial sponsored by Javelin Medical. The INTERCEPT trial hopes to address what leaders describe as a critical unmet need in stroke prevention, focusing on patients with atrial fibrillation who have experienced strokes in the past.
Those patients form clots in the heart, and for a stroke to occur, those clots have to go to the brain. The way they get to the brain is through the carotid artery. So the INTERCEPT trial is looking at whether or not placing filters within the carotid artery to basically filter those clots out or filter those clots from getting up to the brain will actually prevent stroke.